Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Your gun doctor here. I love the OTS 9, but I have the dire feeling the OTS 9 is facing an identity crisis. You want to play it, but the inside is terrible. No one is really taking effort to find a good build. I do say, well, on controller, it might work a little bit better because you don't need to aim with the iron sight, you can aim. But realistically, no one has really found the OTS build yet where I'm like, yes, I can 100% rely on it, play it, and be happy about it. So let's in this video now check the OTS class setup, what you need, which scope could be the best, how could you really make this gun consistently work for everyone, not just for the people that are in deep love with the OTS. I think some main things first. You do need the task force, you do need the cruise suppressor. There's no reason to play the sound suppressor. You do need the bonus of effective damage range. Then when we're looking at the max, you want to have the spasms 40 round mag. The fast mag actually does reduce your ADS time significantly and feels terrible. So those are a trinity of attachments. And now you do have a choice here to make. You could go for the stock to just move faster, zoom harder. You could increase your hip fire and movement speed, or you could increase your movement speed and strafe speed as you're aiming down sight. Right now, I would aim for just increasing the hip fire, because with the hip fire increase, you could be really able to move faster and also be hip fire despite having then a sight on it. And now we'll have to check which sight could obviously be the best too, because we have everything from the QuickDot to the extra arms 3 times that could be used even close quarter combat. If the Fastpoint Reflex, it might be an option here too. So let's try to see which scope gives us the best window that then the movement of the sight works out. It might also be viable to go for the Visiontech 2 times. So we were running around in Plunder and now check out in Storage Town, close quarter combat, what would work. Before we dive into the gameplay testing, let's look again at the shots to kill. So you need 2 headshots close up, 3 chest shots, and then you can land 2 shots per ever. That's actually really forgiving. You're 252 damage like that. Every single shot, then more arms and legs, is going to get you another shot to kill bonus. But let's be fair, even if you get another shot to kill on top, even if you get 2 more shots to kill on top, you're still not worse than the other SMGs. You're even still better. I mean, with 1 shot worse, you're on the MP5 level, but if the MP5 lands 1 shot worse, it is already like on your 2 shot worse level. So you're very good off to go in the 8.2 meter range, and that's why you want to increase this. I mean, 8.2 meters times 1.35 times 1.1, for example, is not that much. So you're not getting the 8.2 meter increase with the task force and the cruise suppressor is not that much, but at least it's a little bit to just give you this more fail safe that you're not straight up in your second damage fall off, because your second damage fall off does hurt and does reduce your time to kill significantly, which is still fine though, because you want to use this as a full SMG. Keep that in mind when you're pairing it with the right AR that you can then whip out at 10-15 meters already, where the OTS is really then being used inside buildings to be a clapping machine. Before we check the scopes, just a quick update on what the iron sight problem exactly is. Your gun is doing this. So if you're going in here and then you have to shoot like someone there, or you have to go down and you're bunny hopping, you know, you're going around, bum bum, you have to zoom around the side. The iron sight does not do what you want to do, especially when you're then shooting like from someone down there, you know, and you're just pulling down and you're trying to track, and that can be really harsh because you're pretty much losing your tracking, and that's where we're going to be using a sight to work against that. Let's start with the Microflex LED. It has a good field of view. Sometimes I feel like the frame is too small. That's why I prefer the Snappoint. And again, this is what happens when you're now zooming around. But you can't pretty much lose tracking because you're not aiming even with the frame or the middle of your scope. You're literally aiming with a moving red dot. And that's what I find so exciting about this gun, that it makes like scopes and sights different to use, because you're literally just staring at the red dot and you're using it to kill people. That's, for me, very intriguing. But you obviously got to find your red dot that doesn't make you weird out. For the Microflex, I feel like sometimes you really hit, depending on looking left and right and up and down, fast the border of the scope, where then I do lose some of my tracking or some of my overall vision. But you can easily keep it on still, and you can zoom on people and get them down. See this little sniper shitter here who's trying to be a hero? With a sight, it's just way easier to get him killed. But the question is obviously, how is it in these situations here? close quarter up and personal? Can you react according to it? Is your ADS time fast enough? How's your movement? Then with the sight moving around, I do feel like keeping the tracking on is so much easier. But this was the This was the Microflex. Now, let's get for the next. Next side would be the Visiontech 2x. And I know a lot of you are freaking out how you can't use a Visiontech 2x, but you can. Because here in this, especially when you use the measured reticle, for example, that I usually use, you see that doesn't matter how hard you move, the sight itself, the reticle itself, is never going to hit the borders. So you do keep a significant portion of view. I mean, it might bamboozle you to try to take these long-range shots, which are obviously not viable to do with the gun because the gun doesn't have the capability to shoot that long. But still, like with the... Like, see, you're that close up, and essentially you're just aiming with a dot. The ODS is not like other guns that are using close quarter then with the bonus magnification scope, because usually the sight in the middle, the reticle, is steady. But with this, you're moving it around. So even if you have to aim with this close quarter combat and go like around and go in here, you're pretty much not losing your tracking because you're not aiming with a giant magnification scope. No, you're aiming with the moving reticle. And that makes it, for me, then, close up and personal so much more viable. Let's see if we can find someone super close where we'll have to react fast and hard. Oh, there's a person. To kill them. And as you can see, with the bonus magnification over the Microflex, you gotta obviously work harder, work more. But it still works fantastically well to have people on and get them down, especially considering that I'm a mouse and keyboard and I don't have any bonus tracking. And then if you have to do these little bit longer shots, you're still able to really good be on target. Next side. Now the diamond reflex. It definitely does not have the problem that the Microflex has, because you're not really hitting the border of your scope. No matter what you do, you're always like kind of in the middle, more or less. So this is a bit better from a visual standpoint when it comes down to aiming at people. So I would say, like, right now, the Microflex LED really lost out because the other sides definitely do perform better for the tracking. But what I don't like on the diamond reflex is the gigantic whatever that is to have the diamond reflex attached to your gun. I mean, that is a vision blocker, and it can really, when you enter a building, like block a complete player. So I don't like that, but the scope itself feels way smoother and better than the Microflex. Now with the mini sights, we have the same problem again. I mean, we can be on target, obviously, not the problem generally being on target, but you see when you get close quarter combat, you're instantly going to hit the sides of the sight. I mean, we can keep the tracking on, and even if we go like close up and personal, it's possible to fight that. It might even not be that bad because you're kind of like contained in this area. So you gotta consider more area. Your scope can wander more. But here, the middle point of the scope can't wander that much. I mean, there's a limit where it can wander. So you're pretty much like having a mobile tiny scope to aim with close quarter combat, which is kind of cool in my eyes. So I kind of want to discard this, but honestly, it's not even that bad because you're kind of have the, like, you're treating the black ring as its own reticle, and then this is surprisingly decent. I was wanting to say this is shit, there's no way I'm ever going to use this, but it has a merit. The Snappoint is really my favorite one. It has this huge cool window you can aim with. You can really get good on target because of the big window it offers. It's like really good to not lose any sight on anyone if you're inside a building. Like if you're going in and you're aiming, you still have the vision around you. It can though hit, like it can vanish. Like if you aim fast down enough, like as you've seen here, it just could go away. So there's a lot of movement going on. As we compare that then to the other one, the very tiny scope, that like here, you have way more movement in the side. That might throw you off, so you might be better off with the tiny one. But how would now the Silix Holoscout also as the final scope perform over the others? I had to kill poor little Jimothy. Couldn't say no to that. And even if you have to do longer range shots, you're still very good off to go and you can shoot them on distance. Now, the Silix Holoscout is a different beast. Has really some magnification, and the movement in the sight is quite significant. I mean, this is like the Snappoint on crack. So that could develop into a problem. I've yet to say I've really not tried it out at all. I've been using the measured reticle here right now because I do just like the color of the scope and everything. But how efficient is this close up and personal? Kind of feel like right now that I'm a big fan of the tiniest scope, to be honest, because the tiniest scope right now has really, for these close fights, performed the best. All of them were nice, but it's like a choose your poison. Ladies and gentlemen, which one has been your favorite? The QuickDot LED did surprisingly good. I haven't tried the Millstop Reflex yet, so we didn't try every single one, but you kind of see like where we're going with this. Find the sight that really fits the best for you. So I used to be like the Snappoint should be it. The Snappoint is the best. But I have to realistically say that the QuickDot LED I liked more than the Snappoint, being able to really track people, pinpoint down, and not have that much movement in the scope. The Fastpoint Reflex and the Diamondback Reflex, they're interesting too because of the minimal movement in the sight, and the recoil felt extremely low. But right now, I would almost just straight up go for the QuickDot. I do like the Visiontech 2x because of the pinpoint that you get precision there, but you might get bamboozled to do shots that you shouldn't do when you're mostly just using this thing really inside buildings. So at this point, I'm bamboozled because the QuickDot LED, wow, how am I going to explain that in my next video, that the QuickDot LED is such a fantastic thing? I mean, we'll definitely try out the Millstop and the Cobra Red Dot at some point too, but right now I'm just really stuck with the QuickDot, and it would be Task Force, Cruise Suppressor, QuickDot, Bruiser Grip, and Spasms 40 round. But a sight makes this gun so much more reliable close quarter combat. And I think this is the biggest problem that's holding the OTS back, because a lot of people are just like Einsight or nothing. Controller players, Einsight or nothing. They need other attachments. You do have the problem, obviously, that you can't now play a Raider stock or back rib or Tiger Team Spotlight plus. But yeah, that's kind of like the thing with this gun. But I think this is the only way to make the OTS actually consistently work if you start using a sight on it. Agree or disagree? Definitely drop in the comments below. Have you been playing the OTS a lot? Maybe you get used to the Einsight. But for me, the Einsight is the factor where I'm saying I can't play this anymore. I really need to change this out. Even though the Einsight itself is actually good. So the front part, the Trident, is really nice. But the whole gun in itself then in total, ooh, that's a big yikes for me. So with the sight, I love this. But what are you saying? How are you feeling? How do your OTS builds look now? There'll definitely be a gameplay video with the OTS following, where we then go for a full match to show how good this is. Might be also going for some Rebirth Island to really check out how the OTS performs on Rebirth Island. But that is my verdict on the gun, how to make it viable again. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish you a good, fantastic day. I hope that helped you to find your perfect build. Don't forget to subscribe to find your way back for more, and see you in the next video.